Hello, welcome back to your late night aftermath of the West Ham United 3 Wolverhampton nil game. And before we get into everything, make sure to like and subscribe if you are new. Now, it was a game that I was afraid of like going to a draw, and that was mainly based on yeah, cool, we did well in Europe, but like there's been a lot of times where we do well in a European game and then we go back to type in the Premier League game, and I wasn't taking too much from the Freiburg thing because I was like, yeah, I've seen us press at home in a European game before, and after the Fulham game, I know what this team is capable of in terms of lack of bouncing back and lack of consistency, and um, but to be fair, it was actually a really good performance. Like it was something that I like for one of the first times this season where you don't really have any complaints. Like this was the first game I think the whole season where I don't think I had any complaints, like any like actual major complaints. Because even a Chelsea win, it's a great win because it's over Chelsea and stuff like that. But there was the Aged red card, and there was how we played after we scored the first goal. In the Brighton match, I actually think we played very well. Uh, but yeah, to be fair, the Brighton game, we didn't really have anything to complain about now that I think about it either. The Luton game was, we could have scored a few more, and we probably should have, and against defending in that game. So other than that, like I guess obviously the Tottenham game, first 45 minutes we were awful. So with this game, I was expecting more of a fight from Wolves. A lot of their fans are saying this is their worst performance of the season, and from what I've seen them, that might be true. I'm trying to remember the start of the season though, because they got unlucky against Man United, and I can't remember who they faced after that. I watched them a few times against Forest, against Tottenham, and other teams as well. But they went for it at the back, and that kind of played into our hands a lot. And we got back the counter attack element that we've had back, and instead of Kudus or Bowen trying to run through five people on their own, we actually just countered properly. We've got the best out of our finishers at the club. Mohamed Kudus, obviously, again, two goals, and just in general, a very good performance from him. And you will still see moments of him being raw, of him still developing. But that's fair enough for me. That's fair enough. I think first season we shouldn't get too gassed, and we shouldn't be too critical when it's their first Premier League season, or like it's their second Premier League season and they've only just moved to the club. That's how I judge it. I do this with most signings, and the reason why I do that is because I remember when Souček and Soufal had that amazing like full debut seasons, and then they had a dip. Soufal was mainly because of injury, and Souček was probably because of the role of Declan Rice. But at the same time, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt in terms of how good someone can be in a first season, how bad someone can be in a first season, because it took Paquetá 6 months to properly settle. And we didn't really see the best of him until like March, April, May. And even then, like you can still like say that he wasn't really his best. Like Paquetá this season has been way better than he was last season. Like way better. Like his levels above when we're talking the stuff he's doing for West Ham. Jared Bowen, like I remember when he first came in, he was okay, and then even in his first full season, he wasn't a starter. When Lingard came in, it was either Bowen or Ben Rama. You wouldn't see them play together because Lingard was on form, and Fornals was the trusty one. He was the hard working one. He was the guy who would just run around and help us start those counter attacks. So it would either be Ben Rama or Bowen back then that would start. And it took a while for Bowen. Like it was the next season. It was 2 seasons ago where he had that purple patch that got him into the English squad. I say purple patch. He was on form from like that Liverpool 3-2 game to the rest of the season, barring the injury that he got at Anfield. He was superb throughout that season. Sometimes it does just take time, and he was still coming from the championship, coming from this country, etc. And like going back to my point, that's Mohamed Kudus, like Paquetá, like we didn't get to see the best of Skamaka because we never played to his strengths and we only got him for one season. And the fuck knows what's going on with Maxwell Corday. I'll choose not to talk about that in this video because I feel like I talk about it in every video. But with the signings coming in and stuff and all of that, this is pretty much the starting 11 that's happened right now. And when Kudus wasn't in the team, it was Antonio, and it was this midfield, and Bowen on the right, Antonio up front. And you can see the diamond filling in where Ward-Prowse will sometimes drift to the left, and then Paquetá will go from the left into the middle. And then it's a 4-2-3-1 out of possession. And yeah, I get that. I still don't think it's that sustainable, in my opinion. I think, in general, it can be good. I know Souček has pulled in with a few goals, but come on, like, this isn't gonna, like, when we need a goal, you put him on. I've said this millions of times. He'll be a fantastic super sub. Just put him on. Then you take Alvarez off, put Souček on, go and chase the game. But he's going to stick with Ward-Prowse and Souček because Souček's got the height and Souček's one of his guys. And Ward-Prowse has got a delivery. And Ward-Prowse has earned his stay by the performances that he has, by passing in between the lines, retaining the ball very well. Like just overall, in general play, having a good IQ in football. And to be honest, that has really helped us control more games, and it would really help us if we actually got possession more. Because we've got the players to do that now, with Alvarez, with Ward-Prowse, and again, Alvarez is another person. He just needs to learn the pace of the Premier League, and you'll see more of him. And he's been very good recently in the games. Very good. He's been good recently in the recent games that he's played, especially this one and Tottenham. And he will give you that, just the occasional like pass, like picking up the ball from the centre backs, trying to pass either in between, ball over the top like against Freiburg, and just try to keep the play ticking. Almost like a Carrick type player. If we're talking profiles of players, that's a past player you can compare him to. However, this is still early. It's still early days for Alvarez, and I don't think we're seeing the best of him because he's still settling into the Premier League, and I don't think we should be expecting instant results. And as I said in the match reaction, in my Freiburg game, I didn't need a goal or an assist or any sort of stat to tell me whether Edson Alvarez was good enough. Because trust me, he is. He's good enough, and we've invested well, we've recruited well. We should have recruited more. We're probably not going to spend in January, are we? I don't really see it. I know we're linked to this, and we're going to push for this Stuttgart striker. I can say wholeheartedly, I have never watched a single Stuttgart game in my life unless they've, faced West Ham in pre-season once. Because I don't remember ever watching Stuttgart ever. I think they had Borna Sosa. I think he's at Ajax now. And the only time I watched Sosa was at Croatia. I think Sosa played for Stuttgart. But yeah, this guy's making like waves in Bundesliga. But whether he'll want to join mid-season, and in mid-season, like, if he's their star striker, are they going to sell him? Are they going to be even willing to sell him? Like, no. This isn't Football Manager. We're not going to we can't give them Danny Ings because they're not going to take him. And Danny Ings isn't going to go to fucking Germany at this age. So anyone with a dream swap deal in their head, I would rule that out if I was you. But if you're a star striker for your team, I don't see your team selling them mid-season. I see your team actually charging more. And we don't have the money for that. And when I mean we don't have the money, we've fucked it over with FFP because we overspent in 2021 or some shit like that. We didn't even spend that much. So I don't know how fucked our FFP was then, but the club clearly don't know how to spend their money properly, don't know how to make their money properly. And I don't care about COVID because everyone lost money during COVID. But for me, I suppose correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Someone said that David Moyes said we don't have a proper left wing, and that's why we're playing Paquetá left wing in one of the previous press conferences. I haven't seen the quote, so I can't fully comment on that. But let's say that's true. You've got Corday, but judging by those comments and judging by the fact that he wasn't on the bench for a couple of games, Corday's not going to play. He's put Cresswell in there over him. And Benrahma is too inconsistent. Fornals is not a left winger, and he's also too inconsistent for me. That through ball that you saw put into Paquetá, you see that once in the blue moon. Like, that Fornals is not one that's going to be capable of doing that week in, week out. He's just not. That's the truth. Whether people like it or not. But at the end of the day, we got to spend still. I've seen rumours for Kyle Walker-Peters. I'm like, get him in. But those rumours have been linked to more of TalkSport. And also, again, same with the Stuttgart striker. Kyle Walker-Peters did the championship, and Southampton are going to try and get promoted. So I don't see someone of that quality, unless he refuses to train and goes on strike and all of that, as he does all of that stupid shit, he will not join us because Southampton are going to put a heavy price on him. They saw how we do business with the whole Ward-Prowse saga. That took too long. And I would take him. But a left-back is needed more. Like Ian Maatsen, that should be done deal first week. I would say our main priority should be a striker or a left-back. But I'm actually going to say left-back even more. Because Cresswell needs to go. And if anything happens to Emerson, we are finished. We still need a few players. Like, I don't trust again. So I would say a left-sided centre-back. And no, don't say Maguire. And I gladly will say that due to his form, that Man United won't sell him now. Thank God for that. Left winger, we need one. We need a DM. One, again, as the Emerson one, like cover for Alvarez, because the balance, I've talked about it before, is not good enough without him. And a striker, because I always remember, I was like saying like this summer, like the summer just gone, a few months ago, that we needed right wing cover for Jared Bowen, because whenever we ever had right wing cover, we should just put Fornals on the right. And I thought Kudus was going to be played more in the centre and be like competition for Paquetá, and then he'll play on the right occasionally. But Kudus is proven that that his best position is probably right wing for now, and just drifting into the centre. Can play false 9, can play just behind, could probably play in the midfield 3 years an advanced 8, but he could play on the left as well. But you'll see his best football on the right, more consistent football, and you'll get consistent performances from him moving on to the right. And as I said earlier, like the spaces that he was going to get into, because they were playing 4 at the back and they're so used to playing a 5, and Bellegarde was kind of covering the left wing back position a little bit, instead of in the place of Aït-Nouri that was on the bench, and he would usually offer more protection to a Totti, who would offer more protection to a Dawson. So their whole defence seemed a bit fucked. So I think Gary O'Neill got that wrong. By the way, I know we're looking at Gary O'Neill to see his progress. I would not take Gary O'Neill. I don't want Gary O'Neill anywhere near this club. I would rather keep Moyes than take Gary O'Neill. And that shouldn't be a shock to anyone. I get, as much as I get the Carrick thing right now, and the football that he's playing, I know people are going to say, but he's mid-table in the Championship. The thing is with Carrick is that when you're in a Championship and your best player are loan players, and then some of them leave, and even Chuba Akpom left for a bigger move to Ajax, you're not really going to carry that on in terms of momentum. Like, look at Coventry as well. That happens. Carrick is, as much as you never know with a manager like Carrick, because he can be given an opportunity, even with the lack of experience, and maybe kick on and do well. But I'd say let him stay at Middlesbrough, and let him develop at Middlesbrough and see what he does for a couple of years and etc. I know the Will Still thing as well. Listen, again, I'm open to it. I'm open to a younger manager coming in with fresher ideas and stuff like that. As long as we are competing, that's fine. I would ideally for me, I don't mind the younger manager route. Ideally for me, we should be going down like the what Newcastle and Villa are doing with the Emery Eddie Howe thing, and some of these adaptable that can play football but that can shore it up at times, that can also just wants to compete, has the mentality to compete and stuff like that. Because you see what they've done, and you've seen in the positions that they're getting into in terms of the league. I think that would be ideal in terms of the end of the season. If Moyes carries on playing this football until the end of the season, thank you. It won't be an eyesore anymore, but a change still needs to happen. And the change will happen. There's not going to be a new contract for Moyes. I'm quite confident of that. Unless it's something ridiculous like, winning the Europa League. They'll probably give him a contract for the Champions League and stuff. But yeah, I don't think we'll win the Europa League, and we'll find out who we get in around February or March or something. But that is going to be it from me. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. My social medias are in the description if you want to follow me. The email for the inquiries. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.